Okay, think back to that last brainstorming session you were in. Remember maybe walking in feeling pretty buzzed with ideas, only to watch them sort of fizzle out?
Uh,
Lost in a sea of sticky notes, or maybe just completely drowned out by the loudest person there.
yeah, that happens a lot.
Or perhaps you're leading a remote team right now and you're really struggling to get back that spontaneous, that in-person energy that used to spark the best stuff.
Definitely a challenge.
It just feels like in this world of constant information overload, the old ways can feel a bit flat. And sometimes, well, no matter how much tech you use, it feels like you're just getting more of the same, that kind of groupthink vibe.
The echo chamber effect.
Exact. It's a really common hurdle for so many of us trying to, truly innovate. So today we're diving deep into something that claims it can tackle these exact problems. EON Brainstorming. It's a new spatial AI platform. Our mission here is to really unpack how it works, what makes it different, and what it could actually mean for how we think creatively and solve problems going forward.
That's right. And what's really, I think, transformative about EON brainstorming isn't just like a small step up from current tools. It seems to be a fundamental rethink of how we innovate. So yeah, we'll dig into its core value, how it uses some pretty cutting-edge tech, and the tangible benefits it offers. For anyone really looking to innovate more effectively, moving beyond just, having ideas to actually making them happen.
Okay, so let's pull back that curtain a bit more then. Lots of us struggle, right? Not just getting diverse ideas out, but keeping that creative momentum, that flow, and maybe most importantly, turning those sparks into actual results. So based on the material we're looking at, what are the big gaps EON Brainstorming is really trying to fill here?
Well, the sources point to several key issues with how innovation often works today. First off, just the inefficiency of old-school brainstorming. Think about your typical whiteboard session. It can get chaotic fast, maybe one or two people dominate, or it just lacks that spontaneous spark.
Right, quantity over quality sometimes.
Exactly. Genuine breakthroughs can be kind of rare in that setting. Then you've got the limits of the digital tools we use now. I mean, things like digital whiteboards, video calls, they're essential, absolutely. But they often give what the source calls these limited flat experiences. They just don't capture that richness of being in the same room.
Yeah.
That spatial thinking, the nonverbal cues.
Yeah, you lose something in translation.
You really do. That sense of presence, it matters. And this ties right into the groupthink problem. It's a big challenge even if you try using some basic AI for ideas. There's this similarity problem. The AI might churn out ideas, but they all sound similar. They echo what's already there.
Ah, so not truly novel.
Precisely. EON brainstorming is aiming squarely at that lack of cognitive diversity. It's a real pain point for anyone wanting genuinely fresh thinking. And lastly, there's that always present execution gap. This is huge for so many places. Bridging the gap between a great idea and actually implementing it successfully. Too many concepts just, well, they die on the whiteboard, basically.
Okay, so it's really about making brainstorming not just faster, maybe, but genuinely more impactful, helping us get from great idea to great execution.
That's the core goal, yes, impact and execution.
Now, this is where I think it gets really interesting. EON Brainstorming calls itself a revolutionary spatial AI solution. What does that actually mean? And what's the unique mix of features that makes it stand out?
Right. The spatial AI tag is key. Its core difference lies in this unique blend. It combines immersive XR, that's virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, with really intelligent AI avatar collaboration. And crucially, it's all focused on generating actionable outputs. It wants to move you past just collecting ideas into deeper creative work and getting tangible results.
Okay, break that down for us. What are the features driving that?
Okay, first, you have immersive ideation environments. So imagine actually stepping into a dynamic XR space, maybe a virtual studio, or seeing AR overlays in your own office. These aren't just fancy backgrounds. They're designed for deep focus, distraction-free creativity. The goal is to induce flow states.
Flow states, like getting in the zone.
Exactly, that feeling where you're totally absorbed, time flies, ideas just connect. It's based on Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's work. The environment itself helps you get into that optimal creative mindset. Then there's BRAINY AI. This isn't just a chatbot for the session. It's pitched as an intelligent AI mentor with endless memory.
Endless memory, so it remembers past projects.
Yes, exactly. It stores context, your preferences, past conversations, building this long-term understanding of your creative journey. It gives personalized guidance, facilitates, pushes your thinking, and learns over time. It becomes a real creative partner. And to hit that similarity problem we talked about, it uses a multi-avatar role-play system. So you can bring in specialized AI avatars. Think of them as expert personas, maybe a tech titan questioning feasibility, a growth guru focused on scale, a funding master looking at viability.
Like having different expert consultants in the room.
Precisely. But they're AI, representing diverse viewpoints and even specific ways of thinking. They deliberately create what the source calls productive friction. This forces the conversation out of ruts, leading to, reportedly, 300% more diverse ideas. You're basically engineering cognitive diversity.
Wow, 300%. That's a big claim.
It is. And finally, something really innovative. 3D idea visualization and manipulation plus no-code XR prototyping. Ideas aren't just flat text anymore. They become interactive 3D objects in that spatial environment.
So you can actually see and touch your ideas, metaphorically speaking?
Literally, almost. You could sketch something, and boom, it appears as a 3D object you can manipulate with gestures or voice commands, no coding needed. You can combine concepts, refine them visually. Plus, you can quickly prototype using EON's huge library, over 36 million 3D assets for early concept testing. You can walk around your idea.
So it's really moving beyond just talking about ideas to actually interacting with them, building them in this shared intelligence space. That does sound like a leap.
It is. It's about tangible interaction, not just abstract discussion.
Okay, so this tech sounds impressive, definitely cutting edge. But what does it mean for, for us, people who need to innovate faster, smarter? What are the concrete, measurable benefits?
Right. The bottom line. The sources point to some really compelling numbers. Users are apparently seeing 50% faster ideation to implementation cycles.
50% faster, so cutting that whole process time in half?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Dramatically speeding things up from spark to deployment. Then there's that 300% more diverse idea generation we mentioned, which, again, tackles groupthink head-on. It means getting truly novel ideas, not just slight variations.
Unlocking that out-of-the-box thinking.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, this seems to lead to 85% higher implementation success rates.
Okay, that's huge. It's not just about having ideas, but making sure they actually work out.
Precisely. It connects creativity to successful execution. And, maybe a bit surprisingly, a 60% cost reduction in innovation consulting.
How does that work?
By democratizing expertise. The AI facilitation, those avatars, they offer a powerful, more affordable alternative to bringing in teams of expensive human consultants. It's like having an expert panel on call.
Great, making that level of input more accessible.
Yeah. And these benefits come partly from the actionable output generation. The system automatically translates your session into tangible things like executive summaries, detailed roadmaps, resource lists. It really builds that bridge from idea to execution plan. Plus, it integrates with the wider EON Reality ecosystem. Tools like Wealthweaver for business plans, EON XR for content creation, it creates a whole pipeline.
So it's not just a tool, it sounds like a complete ecosystem supporting that whole journey, from the first idea to real-world impact. That is powerful. Can you give us a concrete example? Walk us through how it tackles a specific common problem. Let's use that example from the source, the remote team productivity challenge. How would EON Brainstorming handle that?
Okay, yeah, this use case really illustrates how it all comes together. So imagine Sarah, a VP of Ops. Her company's facing that remote team productivity challenge. They saw a big 40% productivity drop after going remote. Lots of communication gaps, project delays, team isolation. Sound familiar?
Unfortunately, yes. Very common pain points.
And their usual tools just weren't cutting it. So the process starts with BRAINY's intelligent consultation. BRAINY, the AI mentor, talks with Sarah using natural language. It digs deep to understand the context, her specific goals, like getting velocity metrics back up, making teams feel connected.
Yeah.
And also the constraints, maybe a $50 K budget, dealing with 4 time zones, and importantly, no surveillance culture. It gets the full picture.
So it's really understanding the nuances, not just surface level.
Exactly. Then, based on that, BRAINY recommends and briefs specialized AI avatars for a multi-avatar session. Sarah joins them in an immersive space. For her problem, maybe it picks a remote work specialist, an employee experience designer, and a tech integration consultant. They're already briefed on her situation.
Okay, so the AIs are primed for her specific challenge.
Right. And during the brainstorming process, these avatars bring different perspectives. They might suggest things like collaboration quests or innovation windows.
Mm.
And crucially, these ideas pop up as interactive 3D objects. Sarah and the avatars can manipulate them, combine them. The avatars also act as devil's advocates. They stress test the ideas. What about adoption fatigue? How does this work across time zones? Making sure the ideas are practical.
So it's collaborative refinement built right in.
Yes. And then comes the actionable output. BRAINY synthesizes all this into maybe a connected productivity ecosystem plan,
Okay.
and it generates that actionable output report. This isn't just notes. It's an exec summary, a detailed implementation roadmap with costs, timelines, KPIs, plus risk mitigation strategies.
Wow, a full plan.
A full plan. And finally, BRAINY gives a concrete recommendation, maybe an internal problem-solving track for quick wins. It might suggest scheduling a CEO pitch using the ROI analysis it generated, starting team lead training, kicking off tech development. It takes this complex problem and outputs not just ideas, but a complete actionable strategy ready to go.
That's really impressive. It's not just idea generation, it's solution architecture almost. It shows how all those features weave together. That really clarifies the potential. Okay, so we see the power, but let's be real, there are other tools out there. You've got Miro, Microsoft Teams, even other VR platforms starting to emerge. How does EON brainstorming actually stack up? What makes it truly different in this, let's face it, crowded market?
That's a fair question. Because on the surface, you might just think, oh, another collaboration tool. But when you look closer, EON Brainstorming seems to be integrating things in a way others don't. It's setting a different standard. Take the XR spatial capability. EON offers full immersive VR with interactive 3D objects. Compare that to the limited flat 2D of a Miro board, or just the flat video feed in Teams.
Right, it's the difference between looking at something and being in it.
Exactly. Designing a product on a flat screen versus actually holding and turning a 3D model in a shared space. It engages your brain differently. Then, the AI facilitation. You have BRAINY, that advanced AI mentor, plus the multi-avatar system. Most competitors have either none basic AI assist, or you need expensive human consultants.
So it's like built-in expertise and guidance.
Right. It's way beyond just spell check. It's personalized expert-level facilitation. BRAINY's persistent memory is also key. That endless memory across sessions means it learns your projects. Other tools might have limited session history, basically starting fresh each time. BRAINY builds that long-term context.
It remembers the journey.
Precisely. And the focus on actionable output is huge. EON generates integrated roadmaps, business plans, prototypes. That's miles beyond the idea lists or basic exports you get elsewhere. It actively accelerates the whole life cycle. And finally, that flow state integration using optimized XR environments for deep focus. That's something most platforms don't even consider, leaving you battling desktop distractions. When you add all that up, it really does position EON Brainstorming as this intelligent innovation platform, genuinely trying to connect creativity with actual execution in a new way.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what we've really deep dived into today feels like, well, a genuinely revolutionary approach to how we create and solve problems. EON brainstorming, it seems, isn't just another brainstorming tool. It's aiming to democratize innovation, maybe, to amplify our own potential and drive real, measurable results using these immersive, intelligent, collaborative experiences.
Democratize and accelerate.
Yeah. It's definitely more than just generating ideas. It seems focused on making those ideas actionable, making sure they actually lead to success out there in the real world, turning concepts into concrete plans. So for you listening right now, here's maybe a final thought to chew on. How could you rethink collaboration and problem solving in your own work or even your life? Imagine tackling your next big challenge, but this time with a persistent AI mentor guiding you, diverse AI avatars pushing your thinking, and the ability to actually interact with your ideas in 3D space, like building your solutions as you think of them. What unexpected breakthroughs might you find? And how much faster could you move your own projects forward by embracing this kind of this new frontier? Definitely worth considering how these intelligent, immersive tools might just transform the way you innovate and bring your best ideas to life.